Today I am replacing the oil and filter on my 2012 RAV4. I haven't done any videos for a while because I got rid of my cursed minivan and now have a Toyota, which will hopefully never break down on me. So I wouldn't normally do videos for something as easy as an oil change, but this one has a cartridge, which is a little trickier, so I figured a DIY video would maybe help some people out. I had to get a special oil filter wrench for this. I got it off of Amazon for like 25 bucks. They probably have them at your parts store too, but I'll show you how it all goes together. Okay, so the basics for any oil change is to drain the old oil, change the filter, and then add fresh, clean, new oil. The RAV4 has a bunch of shields under it, but there's actually kind of a cutout so that you can reach everything you need. This is my oil pan. This is my oil drain plug. It's a 14mm, so I get a pan under it, and I'll start with draining the oil. Then this guy is the cartridge filter, and I'll show you how that works. Here is the old oil draining. This is my drain plug. This should be torqued to about 30 foot-pounds. It doesn't need to be 100 foot-pounds. Over tightening it can damage the threads in your oil pan. Once you've got the drain plug back in and tightened, take a 3/8 ratchet and extension and loosen this little drain plug for the oil filter cartridge. So my oil filter actually comes with several pieces. You've got the actual filter, a couple of O-rings, this guy, and some simple to follow instructions, but this guy actually goes up once I've removed this from the bottom into the canister to help drain the oil. Basically your filter is like an upside down cup filled with oil, so if you drain it first, then it won't splash around and make a huge mess. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get in there, but just press it hard till it's flush and then it will drain the canister for you. Once you have it drained, pull it back out. You can see this is one of the O-rings that I replace when I do my filter change. Next, we fit this filter cup over the filter housing and loosen it with a 3/8 ratchet and pull the whole filter housing out. There's the filter cup. So here's the filter cup. See how it has 3 notches here and 1 here? It fits in there like so. It won't go any other way. This guy you just slide out and put the new one in. Then there is an O-ring in this little groove here that you should replace. See how this one's pretty flat? The new ones are more circular because they're not worn and they make a better seal. So just make sure you get it all the way around in the groove, and then you can screw the filter back in. The smaller new O-ring fits into this groove right here. So I set it on the plug, screw the plug in place, make sure it tightens down flush and that the O-ring gets into the groove it needs to be. Then we're ready to put oil back in. Once I've got everything tightened back down, I come in here with some brake cleaner and spray everything so it's dry so I don't have any drips. The torque spec for the oil filter is 18 foot-pounds or just past hand tight, so it's not something you need to crank on super hard. The oil capacity is 4.4 quarts, so I start with 4 quarts, then put the oil cap back in place, start up the engine, check underneath for leaks, and check the oil level after I turn the engine off to make sure I get it to full. Alright, so start the engine until the oil light goes off, which it did. Then I come out here and I double check underneath for any leaks, and I'm looking good. Shut the engine down and then check to top it up. The reason that you want to start your engine before you check the oil level is because when you start it, all of the oil fills the oil filter that we just changed, so you want to make sure you get an accurate reading. You should be able to see on your oil cap 520, 020 what type of oil you want to use, and then the oil dipstick is here, which you check with the engine off. I pull it out and swipe it off once and then check the level. This little dot is low. this little dot is full. It's kind of hard to read because the oil is so clean, but we are right at the full mark. And that's how you change your oil.